Hello everyone, and today I'm going to talk about the myths of the ball python. Today I have a special guest, Loki, and he will help demonstrate these myths. Now, ball pythons and corn snakes are a common pet snake. Ball pythons themselves are beautiful creatures and really easy to take care of, great for beginner snakes. There's just a few myths about them that just aren't simply true. The first myth is that ball pythons will be okay in a small enclosure. Now, they do love tight spaces. However, they do like to climb. So a big enclosure with the ability to climb and a lot of coverage is best for them. It also makes them happier. A 40-gallon tank or 35 will be just fine. This one here is roughly 30, and I currently plan on buying a slightly bigger terrarium once there are some in stock, as well as measuring out my table. For a baby ball python, 20 to 25 is the perfect size. Another myth about these beautiful snakes, or any snake for that matter, is that they are slimy. This isn't true. In fact, their scales are not rough either. They are smooth and soft to the touch, kind of like human skin or freshly shaved skin. In fact, this myth comes from the thought of amphibians like frogs and salamanders, which use their slime to help them breathe. In fact, even when the snakes are wet, they still aren't slimy. Instead, the water simply runs off them along with forming droplets on their scales. The third myth, and the most common one that creates fear for these snakes, is that they could eat and kill you or your pets. Now, if you have rats, hamsters, or other small rodents, definitely keep them and the snake separated, as this is their typical source of prey. However, with other pets, they really don't show any interest, nor much care to eat them. When they, including you, are too big to eat. Also, rodents are more their speed. Where this myth comes from is where a woman called her vet in the middle of the night after the snake stopped eating. This woman sleeps with her snake every night and has noticed that her snake stretches out beside her when she wakes up. When she told the vet, her vet told her to get the snake or herself out of the bed immediately. It is sizing up to eat her. Now, this is false information. In the wild, a snake would never get the chance to size up their potential meal. So, even in captivity, they wouldn't try to do that either. Instead, they are ambush predators, like a lion or an alligator, waiting for their prey to come to them or close to them, basically, in striking distance. Now, the reason why the snake would not eat could be one of the three things. Number one, it could be because it was winter and the snake was going into a hibernating state, which results them in not eating as often as they usually do, or they just won't eat at all until spring comes around. Second, the snake could be sick, specifically with a digestive issue, or something extremely serious. And lastly, the snake could just be going on a hunger strike or fasting. My own snake did this once and is currently doing it now, and hunger strikes are pretty common for ball pythons since they're extremely picky. One little small pebble in their terrarium and they won't eat at all. The next myth is that ball pythons strike when they are curled up or coiled. These snakes do not strike their owner or larger animals unless they feel threatened or stressed. They only coil up for defense, but most of the time it's when something spooks them. It is when their tails look like this and their head moves to follow you is when you should be worried about striking. Hissing is also a warning, but a little puff is not a threat to you. That just means they're frustrated about something, tired of moving around like us breathing heavily after exercise, or a lung disease, but that can be easily told by observing the snake after some time. Another common myth is that ball pythons don't have personalities, that they are all the same, which is not true. In fact, some don't even want to be handled very much, while others don't mind it. They enjoy it. In fact, some don't like things a typical ball python would like. A great example is that Loki here does not like water. Ball pythons love the water. As soon as he was put into a tub, he climbs right out, wanting to go somewhere else. He is also extremely curious about the world around him, which isn't what typical ball pythons are like. When I first got him, he explored every inch of his terrarium, climbing things with his tongue going crazy. He did the same at the vet too. typical pythons would ball themselves up once they're done with something, or if they are stressed, or if they are in a new environment. But he just wouldn't stop moving around, wanting to explore. And those are the top 5 misconceptions and myths of these beautiful creatures. They are one of the most misunderstood creatures in the world because of these myths and misconceptions that cause people to fear them so much. So hopefully after watching this video I changed a few minds and have people see them in a new light.